Welcome to the Geek Envy podcast, episode 30. My name is Matt, and this podcast is about video games, geek culture, and anything else we feel like talking about. I'm joined in the flesh by Joey, and we have Eric on the horn.
Squeal.
Bam bam.
Oh, that was a weak horn.
I don't have the air horn, the hip hop air horn.
It's okay, we'll put that in.
Yeah, put it in place of my went.
No, that's more work for me.
What have you guys been playing the last 2 weeks?
Things.
Much of nothing.
Oh yeah, you haven't played anything.
No, I had a wedding to attend in South Florida, so I really didn't have much playtime. But I did finish Owlboy.
Is that worth it? Because it's been dropping like something that drops.
I heard
quickly.
It was super story driven.
It is super story driven. So I think Owlboy was one of these like development hell games that have been sitting around for like 8 to 9 years, in which they never really figured out how to finish it. But I guess they did at some point. We're like, all right, here it's done. I thought it was good. It's very much story driven. There's a lot of pieces of the story you have to pretty much put together yourself. It doesn't handhold. And actually really kind of ties in at the end of the game. Kind of spoiler is you actually have to find 3 specific things, these coins, towards the end of the game to really get the full story background. I know I kind of hate when games do that. They kind of lead you and you're like, all right, yeah, I'm getting this. I'm getting little bits and pieces. And then I beat the game and I was like, but what about my ending? How does this be explained?
You mean like the ending's kind of hidden by...
Well, the ending's not hidden. The ending's there. It's just the backstory, the background to the ending, you won't fully understand unless you do that kind of secret thing.
So, is it like level-based, or is it Metroidvania?
It's kind of Metroidvania with platforming and... Well, I can't really call it platforming because you're flying.
Is there like backtracking and like getting items to find new places and stuff like that?
No, very minimal in regards to that. You still do backtrack through some of the like temples and other things you have to find, but there aren't items that I need to go back to progress further.
Okay.
It's pretty linear in that aspect that there's a story. You meet 3 people. The graphics kind of had me very Metal Sluggish. The way things shot at and exploded and kind of how you like got hit and flew back.
Wait. What was that word you just used?
Metal Sluggish?
Sluggish?
Metal Sluggish?
Sluggish
Yeah.
like metal.
Metal Slug. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the little tank
like
shooter.
The game Metal Slug. Okay, I got it now. Alright, I know now.
Not the phrase like it's Metal Sluggish. No, I meant the game like Metal Slug.
I thought that was like some saying I didn't know.
Some new saying the kids are using.
Man, I want to be hip.
So I think it was a $30 physical game, or it's probably about $20 now or $25. Probably a little bit more expensive than I would say. It's definitely a $20 game, if not a little bit less. Length was pretty good if you went for like 100%, finding all the coins throughout each level and specific upgrades for like your 3 main cast. It could push... I don't have my Switch with me, so I can't really tell you the exact time I put into it, but I think I put like 10 to 15 hours.
I feel like the Switch is unreliable with time anyways.
Yeah, there's been, like 4 games that...
Yeah, like half the games I have. Like, I bought that Naruto Shippuden, whatever. I don't even know. The like
Ultimate Ninja
Naruto
Storm.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, those games are kind of fun. I like wandering around the city and finding the stuff. It kind of takes me back. So, I got that game, and I played it, like, once, and I came back to it, like, a week later. I had like hundreds of hours.
Oh, God.
It like had
Just
been recording the whole time.
Sitting in
it's probably still recording.
mode.
I'm probably at like 1,000.
Well, yeah, that was the issue with Xenoblade Chronicles too. I think that was the first big offender. I was really looking forward to like knowing how much time I put in grinding on blades, and then it was like, you've got 300 hours. I'm like, God damn it, I've only played like 40.
That only happened to me once in that game, so I just minus 20 hours from whatever. So I think I finished the game at 110 hours, so played about 90 hours of that game.
Jesus. Tell me about your owl powers in Owlboy. This is a really hard thing for me to say.
Owlboy?
Owl
powers.
Like I
Owl
overthink
powers.
it.
Powers.
Tell me about your owl powers.
We can make a game called Owl Prowlers.
Your Prowlers.
The Prowler
No, well,
Prowler Boy.
There aren't really any powers to Owlboy. He's got flight. And it's the three.
Fuck this game, then. Never mind.
It's the
Move on.
no. It's,
what about your boy? What about your boy powers?
It's the three companions that do all like the attacking. So you, as the owl, are flying, do movement, kind of can get in and out of tight spaces. But when you're fighting enemies, you can switch between your three guys. One is like a fast shooter, like with good distance. The second is a shotgun, so it's slower, reloads slower, but does a lot more damage. And then the third is a mix between like a grappling hook and webbing. It slows them down, stickies them, ties them up.
So are they like hanging? These people are hanging from you?
Yeah, you're Owlboy. You're essentially carrying them around.
That's more just owl. But anyways, does it take place primarily at night?
No, the time shifts though. It goes from day to night.
Game's killing me.
Can you see better at night?
I'm done.
You guys are looking way too far into this game.
Well,
it's called.
He's a freaking owl.
Yeah, and a boy. It's called. I mean, I'm just trying to get the.
Well, he's not really an owl. It's about a civilization
right?
called the Owls. What?
Give us your score.
So I would 3 out of 5 this one again.
That's fair.
Story was decent enough. Gameplay was solid, but kind of on the short end for the price. And where I say the story was good, it's still, like I said, you had to. It's not one of those games that just kind of gave the story. It gave you the story, but you wouldn't understand the ending unless you did the secret stuff.
I see.
There's another game like that is like at the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember it right now.
Joey, what about you?
Well, I beat that Muv Luv alternative game.
So you've beaten all 3 now.
I've beaten the trilogy of Muv Luv.
So now there's more after. There's like an after story. There's an anime that takes place afterwards.
Did this come
you're
packaged?
You're at the tip of the iceberg.
This is too much love for me.
Muv Luv, by the way, a terrible name for this game.
We don't know why it's called Muv Luv.
I can't tell y'all anything because it'll spoil it. But I will say it does make the previous 2 games extremely valuable to your experience. And this game will make your heart hurt. And then after you play it, Steins Gate totally seems like a
ripoff?
No, well, Steins Gate was able to do what Muv Luv had to do in 3 games in 1 game. So that's kind of a bonus on Steins Gate's side. I also like the characters in Steins Gate better than the cast of characters in Muv Luv.
I would agree with that.
Well,
from what I've played.
Well, last we talked, you pretty much were saying that this is kind of a questionable. Are we going to shell out $80 for 2 games where you can kind of get the first game, see how you feel before going into the second one? Do you feel or consider that this is definitely worth the time now, given all 3 games you've played through?
Joey's squinting his eyes and looking off into the distance.
I feel like I'm not necessarily of the crowd that enjoys media that's consistently tragic, kind of like Game of Thrones or Walking Dead. Like, that's not really my bag. I'm glad I played the game historically because it's such like a well-known VN. I could have also not played it and been fine with my life. Whereas in Steins Gate, I felt like I needed to have that in my gameplay history. But that's probably because it's a little more modern and features things that interest me more, like Dr. Pepper.
Dr. P.
Dr. P. I don't. It's also very hard to ever want to pay more than like $10 for a visual novel. Like, I just rarely. I will do that and I did do that. But it's also like, I wouldn't tell someone else, go pay $80 for this set of visual novels. That said, if you are really into visual novels and you're okay with feeling emotionally scarred on top of the scars that life gives you, then this is definitely a must-play for visual novels. The trio, the trilogy altogether. I give it a 3 out of 5.
That's fair.
This is our new thing. That's fair. 3 out of 5.
That's fair. 3 out of 5. Fair.
I'm also playing Octopath Traveler. Has anyone started? Have you only started at Black Ops?
I've started with the first character, and I'm in the first dungeon.
Who did you start with?
Therian?
The Thief?
The Thief. Is that his name?
I don't know, because I started with Ophelia, and just based on the relative ease of path, Therian's the last. The Thief is the last character I'm gonna pick up.
Does she kill herself?
Well,
Ophelia?
Don't spoil stuff. But
well, I mean,
she's a main character.
I mean, doesn't she throw herself off a waterfall or something?
She's alive at least until the end of the game, I'm assuming.
Until she kills herself.
Yes.
Because she's in love.
I think it could.
And you told her to get thee to a nunnery.
That could be what's going on. We'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up the Thief last. So I have 7 of the 8 characters in my group. Eric, have you picked this up?
No, so I have not. I was on the fence about the game initially. I know there's a demo in which you can pick up and play. I don't know how many characters or how long.
No, it's the
3 hours.
game, but just 3 hours.
Yeah, you have to stop after 3 hours.
But I'm super on the fence, because while I hear that so much ranting and raving, and the fact that this is sold out in Japan like 3 times now, with the restock coming on the 28th for us here in the US, that it's either extreme. Either you love it or you hate it.
Tell me your concerns, and I will attempt to assuage them. Smooth them.
He will smooth your concern.
You smooth my concerns.
I will smooth out the ripples of your concern.
Like, okay.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So concern would be... Well, actually, I mean, I really don't have concerns, I guess. Because to say concerns means that I have things that I find wrong with the game. And essentially, I have not played the game. I've not played the demo. It's just a lot of hearsay about different opinions on the branching storylines, I think it was the intersecting, or the fact that it's all told separately.
I have concerns.
Mm-hmm. So the say here says that the stories never really crisscross, right?
Well, pretty much that the story is lackluster, but the gameplay is amazing.
So I'm worried that these people, once they're in your party, do they have a motivation for being in a party together, or are you just like collecting them so you can go play their story?
I mean, tell me about like Final Fantasy VII's cast of characters. Did you feel like people like? Did you feel like any of the characters necessarily cared about what Cloud was going to do?
Yes.
No, but they all had a reason for being in the group.
I would say yes, they did care, because what he did at the end had an outcome on the rest of everyone else. Like,
that's true. That's but sometimes they just seem so random.
But throughout
they
the
were
story,
along.
It was like he was getting paid, and then his friend was there, and then he ended up getting swept up in it. And then all the people who join, like normally,
they have like some vague
have some
reason,
sort of motivation for joining.
So,
like, is the thief's motivation for like, I just got to steal some things?
Well, I mean,
or
I haven't played a side story yet.
I guess
I haven't gotten to that.
One of my main concerns with like role playing game or JRPG storytelling is when characters join your party, usually they have this full fleshed out background before they join, and then when they join, all of that goes out the window. Like, they have no bearing on the rest of the game and the story. Like, Final Fantasy Tactics is a huge problem with that. Everyone has this great motivation and the Valis Alliance and making sure everything's done. But once they're in your party, it's like they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're just AI.
So, does that... I mean, how far have you even gotten?
So how far you've gotten is also unique in this game, because it's not really... The game doesn't seem really made to just... There's a lot of different answers to that. So in Octopath Traveler, you can just go through the game... No, I don't even think that's true. It's not possible to get through Octopath Traveler without picking up at least 3 of the other characters. You need to... The game is going to force you to play the first chapter of at least half of the characters. And you can choose which characters that is. But you're not going to have a full party of 4, which is the max party size for battles. You're not going to have that full party unless you pick up 3 other of the main characters.
Travelers.
Yes, travelers.
Octopath Travelers.
The way they all have their own goals, and they're all like, "Hey, you'll help me, and I'll help you." And it's kind of like it's like if you picked up a bunch of people in an Uber and they're all going to different places, and you were going to a different place too, and everyone in the vehicle just said, "I don't care where we go first. Billy wants to do his thing first, let's go do Billy's thing." And then you go do Billy's thing, and then you're like, okay, who wants to go next? So after you've picked up some additional characters to fill out your party, you're then given free reign to go do whatever else you want. You can do... I'm trying to remember everyone's names. You can do Ophelia's Chapter 2, or you can do Hanet's Chapter 2 next, or you can do blah blah blah's Chapter 2. And they'll have level considerations, so it kind of tells you like what level you would probably want to be at before you go try that. But yeah, there's no real, other than they're there to help you because you are there to help them achieve their goals. There's no real other reason for them to be in your party achieving your goals.
It sounds so dull. You're not helping the case of me wanting to play this game.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like old school in the sense that there's these people who have skills or who want to just experience things and are willing to take time out to do them because they're just traveling across the country anyway. So it's like, I can kind of see how it works out. For instance, there's like someone who works as an apothecary, and he's like, I want to help people and make a bunch of medicines. So why wouldn't he just tag along with someone who can keep him from death? And he's still fulfilling his goal of like finding new plants and like creating new medicines and stuff. So it's not super inconceivable to have them in your party. The one thing that is starting to lack is that some of the characters, you're going to find some of the characters' goals just kind of boring. You're going to be like, I don't really care. What did you hear about the gameplay that people said was really good?
I guess maybe it's that throwback to traditional RPG type of gameplay, but this was after everyone was shitting on turn-based combat and said like it would never come back, and now everyone loves turn-based combat.
I think that's what everyone wants.
I think it's just that they fixed the crappier things about turn-based. Very slow. I mean, that's really the problem with turn-based. It was super slow.
I mean, I don't think that... Maybe a lot of people just stepped away from turn-based combat for a while, but while the combat is fun, and while it has some pluses that, like, it's snappy, it has these boost elements that make you strategically, like, hold on to how you use your turns, and it has other combinations of elements you can use in battle. The combat itself still gets boring after like 20 hours of playing. So I think that's the only other kind of annoying thing I'm hitting, is that the combat loop, you understand it very quickly, and then that just keeps occurring over and over and over again. So I do not regret purchasing the game. I didn't read any feedback about the game either. I was just like, I think this is something I just want to try.
Alright, well, what's the total playtime? Do you think that it'll take you to either beat it or, I don't know, put it down?
I'm actually not sure how many chapters each of the characters have. I'm guessing 8. You think? Like, would that be, like, each character has 8 chapters? Or maybe each character has 4 chapters? I probably could Google that real quick, but I'm afraid of spoilers. But I mean, I think it's going to take a good 60 to 80 hours if I wanted to complete even, like, 3/4 of everyone's stuff. Because I think some people I don't really care about, like, what happens in their life. They're just part of my crew. And I feel like with 7 characters in my party, I'm already starting to pick and choose who I want in my party full time. Like, I know I want a mage, I know I want a healer, and she's my main character, so I can't take her out of the party anyway. I know I want a fighter, and now I'm just stuck with that, that secondary character that does something unique, like either steals things, or dances, or does blah blah blah. So, I don't know. The game has some flaws. It does everything very well, but I would say it's still a little bit lacking story-wise, especially if you're just coming off of, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, in that you might not... Either there might be too many stories that are just a little too... there's no, stress involved in their stories, or you're just not... You haven't chosen the right character to start with to care about their story at all. So that's what I've got to say about it. It's a game that exists on the Switch, and it's probably... I mean, we haven't even had that many, like, RPG releases this year, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Like, I feel like this is one of our main ones. It's worth checking it out. Maybe I'll send it your way after I finish it. If I don't know. I'm gonna try to finish it at some point. Also been playing DJ Max Respect.
What is this?
This came out on the PS4. It's kind of like sad in some ways, but the DJ Max team put this out. It starts off with a little video of someone going to the DJ Max graveyard, where all the DJ Max games have headstones, like DJ Max Portable 1 and 2 that were on PSP, and then Technica that was on the Vita. And it just collects... Respect is like giving respect to the old games in the series, so it just collects all the games from the series and puts them on the PS4. So it's a crap ton of music, and then of course DJ Max being as crazy as it is, you can just scale the difficulty to whatever you want. You can increase speed, you can change multipliers, you can go from 4 button input all the way up to like 8 button input or something. So you can pretty much do whatever you want. Like after you master DJ Max, after you master all the songs in one way, you can master all the songs in another way.
Yeah, this goes back to my dislike or not love for rhythm games. So that's all you.
Yeah, screw you guys.
I don't really like them either.
I know that.
They're alright sometimes.
I'm alone there. Speaking of, I did start playing the Persona 5 Dancing Whatever Night game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think those songs are really meant. I don't think the Persona 5 music
It's so
lends
chill.
itself. Yeah. It's a little bit too... None of the songs really jumped out at me like they did with Persona 4's music. But moving on.
I don't really have to talk about what I was playing. I mean, I beat Super Metroid, so that's exciting.
Woo! You didn't beat that last time?
No, I was like an hour from the end last time. Now I actually beat it. It was a good game. It was challenging.
What happened at the end? Did she take her helmet off again?
Well, like, you already know that she's a girl.
A female. Yeah, she took her helmet off in the NES one. And then everyone's like, ah.
I think she does.
And then, but in Super Nintendo, you already know that she's
I know,
female.
when you die, your armor blows up and you're in a bikini.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the death animation.
Why would that be her exosuit? A bikini.
I don't know. It's like underwear or something.
Must be really warm in there.
Apparently, it was very risque for the time.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's all I really played this week. I started a Fire Emblem game, but we can talk about that later. You want to lead us into new releases?
I will. Welcome back to another session of new releases and news and announcements. What did we have for new releases the past couple weeks? July 17th, we had Sonic Mania Plus. That was the physical release on everything. And then we had Hand of Fate 2. Hand of Fate 1 is pretty good, so I haven't really gone through the entirety of that game yet, so I'm looking forward to Hand of Fate 2, but still to be Hand of Fate 1. And what I think was...
Is that a game you beat? Isn't it, like, different every time? So it's just like
It feels like... I think it's like kind of almost like a...
It's like a roguelike.
Yeah, like a roguelike in some ways. But there's gotta be an end at some point, right? Like a you did it? Maybe?
Sure.
Who knows? And then, I think either this weekend or yesterday, we had a Shin Megami Tensei game release onto the mobile platform. Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2. It's on Android and iOS only, free to play. And from what I've read, it's not so bad. It's got, I mean, it does. I've heard some of the complaints I've heard is it does kind of throw the in-game purchases at you, and it's not a cheap game in-game purchase wise. But it does have a storyline. One of the producers worked on Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, nice.
So he's kind of had the intention to still make this. He says every game should be a work of art, including mobile game. So he wants this to be a work of art, and they tried to balance the sense that it's free to play. But
yeah, this all means nothing to me. I don't believe a word of it.
And he still wants to deliver a game of storyline. So it does have a storyline. You're obviously someone at the end of the world who needs to collect demons and do something about it. And you can collect demons via the question system, and you can fuse demons to create more powerful demons, and you can fight. So it might be worth trying out. It's free.
Every free one, I tried out Star Ocean, and yeah, that's deleted off my phone.
I haven't tried that yet. It took so long to start up. Every time you start up like one of these, it's like it's downloaded. My phone has told me that the game is downloaded, and then I click the button,
and it
and
downloads.
Yeah, then it's like nope.
And then
Here's
it
another
shows you the
5
title
minutes.
screen, and you click new game, and then it downloads.
Yeah, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And then it's like, bonus for logging in. And I'm like, please stop. Speaking of, I want to talk more Pokemon Go.
Really?
Oh, okay.
So, tell me.
So have you been playing?
I have. So I've been to the smoothie place twice this week. Wait, this past
I haven't gotten
like
very
4
many
days.
gifts from you.
Oh, okay. That's another thing I guess I could do since I've already ran out of things to do in the game. Did this fruit system always used to be? This fruit system wasn't in the game from the start, right?
No.
There's like berries and stuff and so on.
But like feeding the Pokemon a fruit before you capture it.
Well, they each one have a different effect. I think it did go as far back as when it was originally released.
Well, the berries your Pokemon would hold, and then they were able to use them automatically.
Yeah,
So like, if they were hurt, they would like use an HP.
Okay, I don't remember.
No, but that's like the game, not Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is always one of those things where you throw at people.
Are you asking if fruit have been in the game since the beginning?
No, I'm asking if fruit have been in Pokemon Go since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like giving a fruit to a Pokemon that is stubborn.
To make it easier to catch. Yes.
Yeah.
That's been a thing the whole time.
Okay, because that seemed new to me. And it also seemed stupid because I thought if it was added in, that's stupid because it just made it more tedious for me to capture a Pokemon. But if it's been there the whole time, fair play.
Okay.
Fair play.
Joe's a hater.
I just don't remember ever having to use fruit. It doesn't even make sense to throw fruit.
Well, like I said, each one does a different effect. One makes them easier to capture. One makes them so they stop moving around as much. One doubles the amount of, I guess, egg points or whatever the hell you get those things to like upgrade and evolve.
Which one does that?
That
Today I learned.
Is it the banana?
it's like the
I always throw the raspberry looking
yeah the
and the grape.
raspberry is
That is
easier to
easy to
catch. The grape one is, I think that's the movement one. I think the yellowish pineapple looking one is the one that doubles the points every time you capture one. And then
That's
there's
good to know.
and then there's
Well,
like
I'm catching. I'm enjoying like the random catching moments I have. Catching some cool Pokemon, like I caught one of those cough ones.
coughing.
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 I caught
Cough.
some other ones. Yeah, it's Pokemon. There's you like what 300 of them or something. All right, moving back.
So, Joey, I don't think Pokemon goes for you. This
I don't
game-
think it is
It doesn't
either.
sound like it is.
they
It's
didn't
just
make it
like
for you.
so pointless. Anyways, July 24th. That's the day of our recording. The Mega Man X Legacy Collection released as a entity for PS4, Xbox, and Switch.
That's X1 through 8.
Yep. Enjoy those.
I might get that for Switch. eventually.
Just a heads up that I think only 1 through 4 are on cart, and then 4 through 8 are digital download, or the other way around.
Every time.
I might just get the whole thing digitally, to be honest.
Oh gosh. This is the guy that didn't want you to get the Xenoblade DLC on cart.
Yeah, he's like,
It's cool. It's cool to own it.
I think
To see it on your
I already
shelf.
am getting it. I paid for the season pass already.
Whatever. Moving on. July 26th, the Banner Saga trilogy releases on PS4 and Xbox. This collects all 3 of the games in one collection, and you'll get that on Switch in September.
I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to get into the first one like 5 times. I can never get into it.
I'm surprised because I feel like it's part of your heritage. It's like
what does that mean?
What
like,
did I use?
very
Am
pale,
I from a
cold
Viking?
people.
You're saying I'm a Viking?
Well, I'm saying you're of European ancestry. Anyways.
I feel uncomfortable.
What else?
Also,
July.
like, they're like people with giants who have horns. I don't think this is about white people. It's about some fancy creatures.
Moving on. July 31st. Code of Princess EX releases on the Switch. Pre-order now to get your first edition, first release extras in.
Why are they putting this game out again?
We
you
talked
guys were
about
excited.
This. No,
The first time we talked about this, you were like, "Oh, I'm
I
buying
was like
everything for
starved for
Switch."
Switch games then. I'm not starved for them anymore.
But anyways, I don't know. I'm surprised because it's the Steam port, but it's only releasing on Switch. But it looks kind of terrible.
Well, it was bad the first time.
The game itself isn't much to talk about, but I might get it because.
So is Titan Quest?
Because Japan.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Go ahead. Also, July 31st.
Titan Quest.
Mm-hmm. On the Switch.
Titan Quest.
So, Titan Quest, I had that pre-ordered at one point because I was kind of feeling like a Diablo game on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like pulled from Amazon store.
Really?
And I canceled it at some point. Another day I was like, I wonder if I should go pre-order that or not. And I went to look for it. It's gone. And I think it's gone from other websites too. I think they might have canceled the physical.
That's weird.
Oh no.
Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm just making this up. But I couldn't find it the other day.
Maybe after it's like really cheap drops in price and it's abysmal showings and ratings, they kind of thought maybe we shouldn't put this out.
Titan Quest is pretty solid and supposed to be. It just apparently has a bad console port.
Oof. No boy, no. Alright, moving on. Filling out the releases until we have our next cast. On August 2nd, a semi-notable game is coming out, 1979 Revolution Black Friday. This can be purchased for PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Have y'all heard anything about this?
What is this game?
So it's kind of unique. It's been getting a lot of award nominations, a lot of kudos from various journalistic blah blah blahs, floofy types. It's based off the revolution in Iran in 1978/1979. You play as a photojournalist in the area who's just returned to Iran to realize that the populace is protesting against the Shah.
Iran.
Oh yeah, that's true. Thank you. You're absolutely right. Even though you're trying to be pedantic or whatever, you're actually right. Iran. Excuse me. But that's coming out. It's supposed to be good. Interactive drama is what it's
Nothing about that made
hailed
me
as.
excited for this game.
Well, maybe we need to branch out.
Like, if you had been like 1979 Revolution in Iran, but everyone's an anime girl or something like that.
We've all got our niches. Let's move on to the news so far. Microsoft announces that they're going to announce some additional Xbox hardware and additional accessories at this year's Gamescom. People are assuming a second version of the Elite controller, and
that was supposed to be revealed at E3.
It was not.
Supposedly.
Is that even
But
necessary?
it wasn't.
I don't know. I don't know how well this sold. The only experience I have is someone selling there as a GameSpot.
Yeah, they stopped making them because the rumor was that there was a new one. So like a bunch of people sold all theirs because they're like, oh, I want to get the new one.
What was wrong? I thought I've heard that people who have it really like it.
I don't know. Like, it has paddles on the back. I don't want paddles on the back of my controller. It's weird.
But it's great for, like, boat games.
Also, the rumor is
games.
that they're working on 2 consoles. One's streaming and one's not.
So no hard drive, just straight stream as you play.
Great for Twitch
I don't know.
people.
Like, honestly, I read the title of the article. I didn't.
It'll be like an Apple. It'll be like an Apple TV, maybe.
Or what's the Steam box?
Game streaming doesn't work. What else? Gal Metal. Praise be the localization teams, because they're bringing it over and it's going to get a physical release.
I will buy that game.
That's available
That's
for
a rhythm game I can get into.
Pre-order. We'll see if you can get into it.
I probably can't, but then
Yeah.
I own Gal Metal. It's like a weird game.
I'll reap the benefits after that. Then a Digimon SRPG was announced.
Yeah, this one was very under the radar. I'm super excited about it.
So, like, it's supposed to be like a survival type tactics game. So it's like tactics battle system, but with survival elements like 999.
Oh, you mean in terms of the
Like
storyline?
Yeah, like they showed, like in the
Like
little
puzzle?
video, they showed there was like puzzle type things when you were looking around the room trying to find things and stuff.
Mhm.
But then there was a battle system when it was grid based and you were moving your characters around.
That's gonna be interesting. They always have, I think they always have like a cool storyline. It makes it like a good, like a refreshing difference from like Pokemon.
Yeah, as long as it's not a world game, it normally has a pretty good story. The world games are normally just like, you're in the digital world, raise the Digimon, and then that's yeah, okay.
And it wears off. What else? The limited edition Spider-Man PS4 Pro bundle was announced. It is bright red. It is
Joey's
the
game.
reddest thing I've ever seen, along with the red controller that features like white grayish buttons.
It's gonna sell out.
I'm passing on that.
Joey's gonna get it.
It's too red for
He
me.
needs to upgrade to a pro.
You know, after putting PSVR in your Pro, that was my only reason to upgrade to a Pro, and now I'm
Did
like,
you even try it online?
yeah.
Oh, you did?
I was like, does it look any better? And you were like, no.
Well, I had never seen it on
I was
the
like,
regular,
okay.
so maybe I'm just like spoiled.
I think it looks the same. It looked the same from what I could tell. What else? No Man's Sky Next released today. This is a fully fleshed out update featuring more than 200 tweaks, a full co-op mode, and improved base building, new mission types, and greater character customization.
So, as someone who
Is it time?
wait. So, as someone who played this when it first came out,
You bought it when it first came out?
I bought the limited edition
2 years ago.
Do you still have that?
2 years ago.
No.
Damn it!
I spent like $70 on it.
I wanted the ship. So it was not what was promised when it was released, and I completely think that it was pushed out.
I honestly didn't really hate it when it came out.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and I felt
I didn't think it was worth the $70 I spent, but I was like, this is kind of cool.
it was definitely cool.
And then I never played it again. But I didn't hate it. It's not like I just like rage quit immediately.
So over the last 2 years, there's been, I think, 3 major what they call updates to the game that excuse me, that have changed everything and almost made it a completely different game. I would argue that this update makes it a brand new game completely. It remakes everything from the go. All the tweaks. There's third person view. There's so much. I looked at I guess, what do they call the update things? The patch notes. I guess you could call it patch notes.
Patch notes.
The list was so long. I was like, this is a completely different game.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up eventually and try it again because I like the concept.
But it's just, this is essentially a survival game, right? It has no storyline.
It has a survival mode now.
It has a survival mode now, and there is somewhat of like a lore and backstory, but there's no like story to the game. That was what was like advertised. It's like you go through all the things and you get to the end, and then psych, fuck you, you go back to a brand new universe, or like everything starts over, and everyone was pissed off about that. But I haven't played it since maybe like 2 months after release, so I have no idea what's going on.
Gotcha. I might try it. I think I might try to pick it up cheap from GameStop or something.
Get on PS4.
I don't think you'll be able to find it cheap anymore. It was super cheap after release because everyone was pissed off and returned it. You could have got it for like $5. I think
full price it's like $29.
No, I think it's 40. It went back up to 40.
What?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Let me see.
Stupid.
These dudes are just...
What?
Everyone bought the game and everyone was sold it.
Hello Games, right? They made a shit ton of money.
Yeah. So annoying.
I guess.
Oh no, you can get some $20 new.
Yeah, 25.
That's not bad. I could do that.
The limited edition went up in price, so now it's
Get
like.
on PS4 so we can play co-op.
Yeah, I've got PS4. Do it.
Will do.
Because, like, you don't need that on Xbox One. You don't need that.
Alright, any other news, gaming-related news before we jump into general news?
No.
Excellent. Well, I do have news. I have heard back from our patrons at Limited Run Games here in Apex, North Carolina.
Dun dun dun. What do they got for you?
I thought they were in Cary.
Cary.
No, they're somewhere.
They got back to me and they sent me a shipping form to send back Ace of Seafood since the game doesn't work. So that's out in the mail, and we'll see what I get back.
Speaking of
maybe they'll send me like a special card.
Yeah, okay.
A gold one.
So speaking of LRG, on the 24th today, I want my calendar to come up. On the 27th of July, if we get this out by then, they would have announced a special PS4, PS Vita release that's secret as of right now, with a 30-day pre-order.
Are there any rumors?
It's gonna be Chasm because they've always said that's the game they always wanted to release, and then they like teased it by being like, "This is a game that we always wanted to release." It's gonna be Chasm.
Could be. We'll see.
Are there any other rumors?
No, not that I know of.
Lame. Other than that, Eric, I think the Gundam bug has bitten Blackwelts and I.
I see.
We're going to start a group called the Geek Pla Builders Association. Geek Envy Plastic Builders.
The GBPA? The Geek Pla Builders Plastic Association?
Yes. We've got some Gundam to build. Blackwelts recently got, was it an HG or an RG?
I got an RG.
You got an RG, which is the newest
It's from Gundam
difficulty
C.
level.
Is it? Because you have high grade, then it used to be master grade.
Yeah.
RG is real grade. It's like...
It's in between HG and MG, right?
It's like a master grade on a 1/144 scale. So it's like the size of a HG.
I thought...
But apparently better quality. I don't know.
I always thought that real grade existed. I thought it was HG, RG, MG, and then PG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're new to this.
Originally it was just...
Originally I thought it was just HG, MG, PG.
That's what I thought. But whatever. I mean, it looks cool. It looks super complicated. It has like a frame that you have to build first, and then you build a robot outside of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is cool, so...
And then I picked up an MG Gundam Wing. So that'll be fun to put together.
I started, and I need to finish my MS-08 team Gundam.
Excellent.
I think that's a HG, but I have one master grade, and that's the heavy arm. I don't know if I'm ever going to build that.
Oh, so you haven't built it yet. I want to know how hard it is. Because, like, I feel like even though they're complicated, if you follow the instructions, like, you're following instructions.
Oh, yeah, it just takes a lot longer.
Fine.
Yeah, and I'm fine. I can put some time into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I want, like, to buy a bunch of, like, okay models, or do I just want to spend all my money on it all some more?
Actually,
I built
two
2 HGs, and I wasn't very happy with the quality.
So
maybe the RG would be better.
I bought an HG last night online.
So RG
for $11.
RG already existed. It was high grade, master grade, real grade, perfect. So you got the second hardest build.
Ooh, and it's smaller.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
no,
you gotta see how it goes.
opened it. Like I opened it. There's like a lot of pieces.
Like a million.
No. But
like,
real grade is actually the same size as high grade. They're just more detailed.
Right. It's just
like here. Look at this.
Master grade is actually the larger size. It's 1/100th compared to
1/100.
144th.
I kind of wish it was bigger because like when it's smaller, it's so fiddly.
Yeah, this one.
It's gonna be hard.
This one's pretty crazy. I
bought what is it? What are the ones with the one eye called? It's like the Xeon or something.
No, Xeon is the bad guys.
Yeah, the bad guys.
No. As in, like, that's the name of the group, the Xeon.
Yeah, but, like, this is Char's...
You mean, like, the little tank dudes?
Oh, you're talking about the... Char...
You know, the ones with the one eye that goes back and forth that looks like Battlestar Galactica.
What's its name?
They look like Cylons.
Hold on.
You bought that one? I could have that one.
It was like $11. Hold on. I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll tell you the name of it as well.
While you're looking that up, Eric, I also watched the first episode of Gundam Wing. That, like, kind of awesome looking 90s-ish looking one.
Okay.
You know that show?
Yeah, I know.
Have you watched it?
I can't remember the last time I watched Gundam Wing. It's been a while.
Okay, yeah.
It's like classic Gundam. The thing I got is Zagok MSM 07S, since Eric knows the numbers.
Yeah, it's the original ship.
It's like Char's, the one that goes underwater that Char uses.
Oh,
from the original
that
ones.
one.
And it has like claws on its hands, and it's red.
Yeah,
I just thought it looked cool, and it was only $11, and I was like, that might be cool. Because it looks like way different.
Yeah, that'll be unique to put together. But Gundam Wing is a hilarious show. In the first episode, the main character Hiro lands on Earth, and his rebellious Gundam Wing ejects from it and is saved on the beach by a very rich young girl. Then he shows up at her boarding school later on in the episode for some reason. And she's like, her birthday is like soon, so she's like, I'm inviting him to my birthday party.
Okay.
And so she goes up to him and gives him an invite, and everyone's like, oh, and like applauds. And then he takes the invite and rips it up in front of her face. And she starts crying. And then he walks up to her and wipes the tear from her eye, looks her in the face and says, I'll kill you. And then walks away. And that was the end of the episode.
That's great.
And I was like, what is happening? So I'm definitely watching the rest of this series, even though it's 49 freaking episodes.
So
I started Iron-Blooded Orphans. It's pretty good.
I'm up to episode 38 on that, or 41, something like that.
So tell me this. So I'm only in the first episode, and I didn't finish the first episode before I started the podcast. Like, do you get attached to all the boy characters? Like, because like the whole point of them is like they grew up. So there's like Mars, and then there's Earth, and like Earth is totally like just using Mars for its resources.
Yeah.
So they're like growing up in this war torn like society, and they're basically like pretty much like slaves.
Yeah, they are. They're called the lowest form of slavery is human debris.
Yeah, human debris. Yeah, and so they're like child soldiers basically. And they've grown up as soldiers since they were kids.
Yeah.
So they all have like really weird stunted emotions and stuff, like the way they talk and stuff. But do you get attached to them?
I would say yes, and actually I think the major attachment for me is Mizuki, the main character, the one who actually rides Barbados. I forget his name off the top of my head.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I haven't gotten far enough. I'm literally like 10 minutes into it. So, but I'm intrigued by it's very different from other Gundam shows I've watched.
Yeah, it's Mikazuki is the guy who rides the Barbados, which is the main Gundam. What's cool about Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I feel like I'm about to go off on a tangent and I'm going to stop myself, is that it's completely separated from the Gundam universe. I mean, you could watch this without having any real tie to any of the other Gundam, I guess, shows or runs or episodes, whatever. But the Gundams themselves, like every other robot in the show, is not a Gundam. Although they do a lot of cool things, they're referred to as suits. And the actual Gundams themselves are from a pre-war or a post-war era. And they call them frames.
Everyone's like freaked out by them.
Yeah, they have like super special abilities and powers, and there's so few of them.
That's cool. I like a lot of the models for those that I was looking at for that show. That and the unicorn models are cool too, so I kind of just picked one. And since unicorn isn't standalone, and I chose Iron-Blooded Orphans because it's self-contained.
So what I was going to say before we got to IBO was when you guys are done with your builds, we definitely have to start posting up on the Instagram so people could see our builds.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, you should post the little guy Eric sent you.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Little duder.
I built him last night.
Yeah,
in one sitting.
Yeah, he's a quick build.
He was fun though.
I wish you did the lining on him. I gotta send you.
He ain't got no pens yet.
I'll send you a pen. I'll send you both pens.
I was just like,
Okay.
So I like opened up my RG model and I was like, holy shit! Look how long it's gonna take me. And then I was like, oh yeah, Eric bought me that little one. I'm gonna do that first as a warm up. So
I'm telling you though, the amount of time I spend with the line pen is more than I do building.
Yeah, but at least with the line pen, you can just carry it around, and like do it here and there.
I guess.
Like when you're building it, you have to like have everything out.
But yeah, it's true. Like I don't want to stop building because I'll like lose my spot, or I have to like put it all somewhere.
That's my main worry too. Like
organize
I'm
it.
taking mine to the beach, so you can't like leave everything out because everyone else is using the space too. So you have to like put it all back in the box and stuff.
And my one tip and trick for the line pen, if you guys want to do this, or if anyone listening wants to do this, is while the pieces are still in the mold, or what's the thing called?
Sprue.
I thought it was spree. Is it spree or sprue?
I think it's sprue. That's what we called it when I played
Warhammer.
Okay. So while the pieces are still in the sprue, you can actually do the lining a bit better on the pieces there, meaning that it's not in your hand and you're not having to fight with getting it. It's in a kind of sturdy hold. And there,
how do you know what to outline?
It all depends on your preference. You don't have to outline the pieces at all. You can outline individual pieces. Like for me, it's the legs, but you can base off the image.
He's a leg man.
Or you could just do like what you want to do in terms of shadowing. If you want to do to give it more of like pop is what I do. So I try to do every joint, every line. Yeah.
Hey, how about I just build them and I'll mail them to you?
I'm just gonna send you the pens. It's fun. It's fun that way.
No, that's cool. I'm probably gonna buy some pens now. I used to paint Warhammer minis, so this will be fun.
But yep, that's it for today's Geek Plot Builders Association session. What was going on at San Diego Comic-Con? Did any of us attend?
No one attend, of course. So
we're actually broadcasting live from
the ruins of Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Still in the convention center.
It was last weekend. I really didn't see a lot of news come out of this. There was a lot more movie news than anything else. Aquaman trailer came out, so you got that kind of... I don't know if you can consider it a sneak peek or if it was a full-blown trailer. Looked pretty good. DC kind of was on a roll with showing things. They also showed their preview of Teen Titans, or they called it just Titans. But it was so angsty and edgy that it was so ridiculous.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. At one point, Dick Grayson, of course, if you know Robin, or the original Robin, and then later became Nightwing, I guess was on his own, and he was beating up a band of thugs, and the thugs were like, "Where's Batman?" He's like, "Fuck Batman." Legitimately, he was like, "Fuck Batman." And this is something that he would never do or say, and then he used a gun and shot a bunch of people. This is all in the trailer.
Wow.
But it was so like edgy, dark. Raven was this little girl scared of her own powers that looked like she came out of a Hot Topic catalog.
Well, that's kind of what the character looks like too.
No, I mean
not
traditional
Raven though.
No, I mean like choker, blue jeans, oversized shirt, black, dark black. Anyway,
weird.
Another trailer that was super hype for me was Godzilla King of Monsters.
So I didn't watch this trailer because if it is what I think it is, I don't watch movie trailers on purpose. And I really liked the Godzilla remake. Like, really liked it.
As in, like,
Jack
wait,
Black?
the 2008 one?
that was
Oh, that was King Kong.
No. So the remake,
with
the
the
one with
Puff
like Bryan
Daddy
Cranston
song?
and everything.
Oh, okay.
Which one was
The
that?
one that just came out.
I haven't seen
It
that.
starts off in Japan,
Oh, that one.
not the one set in New York.
I thought you were talking about like the Matthew Broderick one with
No,
the
Yeah.
Puff Daddy.
But okay,
Yes.
I do love that movie.
Okay, we're done.
For
We're
a different
done.
reason.
Yeah, under Madison
So-
Square Garden. Yeah, okay.
I used to have that movie on VHS, and I'd watch it when we drove to Florida in our van because we had a TV in our van with a VHS player. So
someone's
I've
rich.
seen that old Godzilla movie like 1,000 times. But no, like the one they just did a couple of years ago was like really good. You should watch it.
I didn't watch
Joe,
it.
you would like
I don't think it was good.
Was it in Japan featuring Japanese actors?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Well, okay. A lot of it takes place in Japan. There are Japanese actors and also American actors. Yeah, it's in English.
Of course.
But like, is this the sequel to that movie?
No. So King of Monsters is actually one of Godzilla's first movies.
I want them to make a sequel to that movie because I enjoyed it.
No, not too bad.
I think this is a remake of the original like 1960 or 70s movie whenever it came out. But it looked great. If you're a Godzilla fan, they did like a montage shot of all of the kaiju, like the main ones: Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Godzilla himself or herself. I don't know. It's got that's a whole nother discussion. I feel like in some movies they refer to Godzilla as her, but then in the older ones they refer to it as him or it, whatever. But yeah, that's it. So I don't know about any other news that came out in terms of San Diego
Sensitive
Comic-Con.
topic.
Just like a lot of movie news that came out.
Let's play this safe.
I don't want to
Comic
assume
book stuff, of
Godzilla's
course, because they
gender.
talked about X-Men returning,
That's cool.
Wolverine
You're
coming back
excited?
from the dead.
Did
if
it
you've
have
been
any
following comic
good
books,
music?
You know, like the true thing to comic books is no one's ever dead. You think they're dead, they make it a big thing, and then like 5 years later they're like, psych, he never died.
Alive.
He was in limbo.
It's like soap operas.
Yeah. But
Alright.
that's pretty much it.
All right, let's swing through our retro roundup.
Yep, we need to move on to special topics.
Did you guys choose a game to play for our retro roundup?
All right, so I need a run through. How is this going to work? What are the rules
So,
and conditions?
We each choose a game that is 2 generations before now or
Thank you.
further.
Thank you for laying down those ground rules.
And we play it, and then we talk about it on the podcast.
Oh.
Because I feel like there's a lot of games that are old that I did not play that I should play. Like Super Metroid was one of those. And after playing through Super Metroid, I think it might be in my top 10 games of all time. Like, that's how much I liked it.
That's
Very
a bold
nice.
claim,
Yeah.
Cotton.
Did you just call me Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Bold strategy. See how it pays off.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's about as far as I've got. Idea.
So I mean,
Good idea.
I guess what I'm really asking is that once we play these, it's more so for, I guess, for us to kind of look back at things we might have missed, whether it be growing up or things we've overlooked or just kind of went under the radar, and we're looking into them as like a different perspective, maybe.
Right, and then you can convince the other two to play them if they haven't.
So this is more like a
down
game
with that.
aspect here. I play it. I've got to give you like 3 reasons why I think you should play it, and if you
Well,
do
no, like-
succeed,
So we're not trying to trick each other. Into playing. Like, if the game's amazing, you should recommend it or not.
Okay, I would like you guys to choose the retro game that I'll round up at our next retro roundup.
Out of anything, or are you going to give
Out
us
of
some
out of these 4 on our
damn, because
on this thing,
one of the
here are the 4.
One of the games you posted is kind of like makes me feel like I want to play it too, But then I think we would kind of defeat the purpose of us playing a different game and kind of trying to...
No, we could choose yours, too, later. We'll just not choose the one that does the same as mine. So here are my 4 that I want y'all two to agree on somehow. Earthbound for SNES. The original Star Ocean for SNES. I feel like y'all aren't going to choose Star Ocean. Chrono Trigger for SNES.
You should play that on DS.
Or Lunar Silver or whatever. Lunar Silver Star Story for PS1.
So I would agree with Matt. Don't play Chrono Trigger on the DS is considered the definitive playthrough of that. So
I can let you borrow mine.
I think technically by Matt's rules we're allowed to play that on the DS.
Yeah, I would say that's like true to the original. Like it has updated like some of the translations slightly different, and I think there's an extra dungeon or something. But it's not like a 3D version or something, you know?
Okay, that's fine. But which of these 4?
I would almost argue Earthbound, and you can also play that on the 3DS because it's whatchamacallit, they ported it.
Yeah, but you and Matt have to agree on one.
Matt?
I'm gonna say... Have you never played Chrono Trigger?
I've started it once.
How far did you get?
Not far enough to remember. I can remember a little. He looks like a redheaded kid, walking around the map from top down view.
All right, I think you should play Chrono Trigger. That's the best game on there.
We all gotta agree somehow.
Also, Lunar, it's what version will you play? There's 12, and they are all different.
I'm gonna play the PlayStation 1 one.
I don't know. Like I said, unless he's willing to find a DS copy of Chrono Trigger, I would say to wait for that and just play Earthbound.
Here.
Matt has one.
I have a DS in my hand with Chrono Trigger on it.
Alright, never mind. Let's go with Chrono Trigger then.
Hold on, I'm making sure Chrono Trigger's on it.
Alright, what about you, Eric?
So
Chrono Trigger.
Is that telling me what I'm going to play? Alright. No, for me, I think I'm going to go back to Persona 3 Portable. So it's Persona 3. Again, that's within its original release was on the PS2.
Oh, my bad.
I'll delete that loud noise from...
So go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No, so for me it's Persona 3 Portable, or at least Persona 3, which was originally released on the PS2. And I never heard about or even played the game on the PS2 when I had a PS2 growing up. I first touched it on the PSP. Never finished it, so I actually want to go back and kind of fully go through and see the ending, because I know a lot of people have said this game has a great ending.
It's a really good choice, man. Can't argue with that one.
Alright, Matt?
I think I'm still going to play Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, even though I started it.
Is that known for a good story or just good mechanics?
That's the first one to come out in English on Game Boy Advance. And it's well regarded.
Who is the character of note that people will reference?
So you play. There's 3 lords that you play: Hector, Eliwood, and Lyn. Lyn's the girl with the green hair and the sword.
Okay.
You see her a lot. And Eliwood is Roy's dad.
So I thought that was going to be a female.
It's a prequel to the one with Roy with it. So yeah, it's pretty good. I started playing it the other night, and I'm still in the tutorial, so I think it still counts. Even though I'm 3 hours in, I've been dicking around it.
This came out on what?
Game Boy Advance.
Cool.
But yeah, I've been wanting to beat it, and I never have beaten it. I've played through half of it, but I've never beaten it, so I think I'm going to go back and try to beat it.
So do we want to talk about our progress in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks?
We could talk about it on every podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no time limit, so it's not like you have to finish it by next podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you could literally talk about the same game for the rest of the year if you wanted.
But what about spoilers? Like, have y'all both played Chrono Trigger?
I have it. I've probably done what you've done, started it, got a certain point, and actually that's what I do with almost all games. At some point, I play, get disinterested at some point, pick up something else, never get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't beaten it, but I've gotten over halfway, I think.
So we'll have to be careful still. That's fine.
I mean, I know the storyline, though. Like, it's been out long enough that it's probably all been spoiled for me. I'm not too worried about it.
Alright, we'll do that then.
Sounds good.
You can find us online at geekenvy.podbean.com, and our podcast is on iTunes and Google Play, so check us out there. We're currently looking into Spotify and other means, so, keep your ear to the ground. Where can we find everyone on the web? Let's go with Joey. Where can we find you?
Find me on Instagram at Geek Stereo and on Twitter at Me in the Stereo.
Matt?
I am at The Jedi Council with 2 L's on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am on Twitter and Instagram at Eric the Intern. You could send us your comments, suggestions, questions, and any other thing you want us to... send us your comments, suggestions, questions, and anything else that you want us to read out and kind of acknowledge at askgeekenvy@gmail.com, and we'll be back in about 2 more weeks with a full cast and a whole bunch of other things to talk about. Have a good night, everyone.